Hi. In this video we are going to understand the public APIs for the YM Chatbot SDK and how we are going to use it. I shall demonstrate how we are going to get this data in our source application. First, let us discuss what are the available APIs. There are three public APIs. First is the registered device token. Second is the linked device token, and the third is the unread message count. Let us talk about the registered device token. So the registered device token has a use case where, let's say, if you want to receive a push notification without or before launching the bot, you can register your device. To use the API, there are a few parameters that are mandatory, like API key, bot ID, device token, and YM authentication token. First, let us talk about the API key and where you would find it. You have to log into your cloud.yellow.ai platform. I have already logged into cloud.yellow. And here is my bot API keys can be found under the access control settings. Here on the left pane, there is API key. There are no API keys as of now. You could generate one API key by clicking on Generate a new API key. You have to give it a name and assign the role, and you have to just save and just create a new API key. Next, let's talk about how we could use it in our code. Now, let's talk more about the code. Let me create a button here that could be used for the registered device token. Let's call it a registered device or registered device. Let me create an action for it. Okay, as mentioned, there are four parameters that are mandatory. One is the bot ID, then there is device token. Device token will be your FCM token, and then there is YM authentication token and API key. After you fill in all of these values and you register the device token, this will either give you success or may return the error, and based on that you have to perform specific actions. For now, I'll just keep it blank. Next, unlinked device token. As we understood in the registered device token, we were registering the device token, whereas, in a linked device token, we are removing the device token to further receive the push notifications. If you want to stop receiving push notifications, we can use that. For this, there are three parameters that are maintained. There's API key, a bot ID, and the device token. Let's check that now. Let me create another button. Let me extract the action for it. These are the three mandatory parameters: bot ID, FCM token, and API key. You have to create a config object. After creating the config object, you have to pass the device token, and that config object will be passed into the unlinked device token API along with the API key. For now, I'll keep this blank. Next, we are going to discuss unread messages. So unread message count is nothing but the count of the unread message. Let's take a case where our user has been talking to an agent or is communicating with the bot. And all of a sudden, he closes the application and there are a few messages left unread. Unread message count is going to return you the count of the messages which were unread. For this, there are two parameters that are mandatory. There's a bot ID and there's a limitation too. Let us see how we can use it. Let me create a button and name it as unread message. Derive an action. As I mentioned, there are two parameters which are required: bot ID and authentication token. You have to pass both of the parameters. And there are two blocks: success and failure blocks. Success will return you the count of the messages and failure will return user error. That's it. Hope you were able to follow.